Well, hello there, DSA family, and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. Today, I've got a video that I'm extremely excited to share with you all as we kick off a brand new series of the Ability Upgrade Guide. Guys, we're going to be going from faction to faction, focusing on each and every character. We're going to be teaching you guys what abilities to upgrade to get the most bang for your buck for each and every character within that designated faction. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know what I got myself into by making this video and this graphic. It took me the better part of 3 days to put together this beast. However, just like the stone ability upgrade video that we just released, I really want to start making graphics that are easy, one sheets you guys can pull up when you're playing the game. You can pop it open and know exactly what you're looking for. So if these videos help you out and these graphics help you out as a player, be sure to show your appreciation by liking today's video, as it helps support me as a creator a ton. Now let's go ahead and jump right into today's video, but we've got the question of the day, which can have a lot to do from you guys, and I need to hear your feedback. These guides take a lot of effort, and I want to make sure I'm laser focused on the faction you guys are looking for. We've got a lot to cover. We're doing Kingdom today. Comment down below which faction do you guys want to see me cover next for the Ability Upgrade Guide. Let's begin. All right, Team Cozy Club, well, happy Monday. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the Ability Guide. The guide today, let's cover a few of the basics. First and foremost, we're going to cover everything. All the abilities, the Delta upgrades, and then primarily, what abilities are going to help excel that character's specific role. If they're a support, how can they best support the team? You're not going to get that by, upping their damage numbers because you're not relying on damage. If they're a tank, you want them to soak up as much damage as possible. And of course, with someone like Quasimodo, you can up his damage, which is a different case. But you want his main role taking the hits and delivering the blows on himself and taking those damage away from your prime damage dealers. Now, with that being said, we're going to go character by character, and at the end of it, we're going to have a complete graphic for you guys to utilize on the Discord. And of course, if you just can't get enough of the hype and hanging out with the Cozy community, here is a list. We've got a Twitch, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, the works, focusing on nostalgia, Disney, and everything in between. Now, I want to say the graphic will be helpful as a quick glance guide, but be sure to watch the whole video, as with every character, there's different nuances that is going to change the way you upgrade their abilities. Like with Frollo, if you're going to use them in the raid, is a lot different than PvP. The overall graphic is going to focus on their main priority abilities, but there's a little bit of differences for each and every character. Let's go. Raya is a very unique character, as she's definitely an offense character. However, she acts as a support for the adventurer faction, having 2 abilities that are going to support the characters around her. I definitely suggest leveling up her basic to level 4 so you can call Moana when needed. Her role Tuk Tuk is great for feeding speed turn meter, so the more upgrades, the better, and the runes are definitely worth it. Now, if you're using your Raya with a Barley Bomb, you want to focus on Warrior's Fury, as that's the big damage number there, and her passive only to level 3, as the bonus evasion will cost a Delta and is not quite worth it. Namaari is also interesting, as her abilities are great, but it's all about her overall offense. Definitely an offensive character where gear is going to matter. Burn Them Out is her key ability, and Surlot's Fang is great for the cleansing. However, you're definitely going to want to upgrade all of these. I would focus on Burn Them Out if your ability's starved, but all of her abilities are great. Her basic attack does offer Unstoppable if you upgrade it, but I don't find the runes worth the investment. Shan Yu, you guys know all too well. Definitely another interesting pick here, as you're going to want to upgrade the majority of his abilities. He's all about scoring critical hits, and he kind of snowballs the entire Kingdom faction. His basic is actually great to upgrade, as you're not just doing damage with the adjacent hits, but you're also stealing and gaining that turn meter. Now, his Hawk, you can probably stop at the damage upgrade, as the offense up is a nice touch, but once you kill enemies anyway within his leadership, you're going to gain offense up. And of course, the Headbutt is an absolute must upgrade. Now, he's going to be our first Delta suggested character for his leadership, as you definitely want to upgrade this to gain not only offense up, but you're also going to net yourself some haste. This is going to snowball the entire Kingdom faction and keep them relevant for times to come. Mulan, guys. She'll make a man out of you. I'm going to be all about the basic here. You want her to assist as much as possible. Within the raids, getting a extra silence chance on Soldier's Strike is definitely necessary, so taking that from 3 to 4 is great. I have yet to upgrade her from 3 to 4. I find her doing her job just fine. And Fiery Distraction is a must on level 4, damaging all opponents and not just a few. Now, as for her passive, level 2 should do the trick. She doesn't quite need tactics or evade, and with it being helpful effect base, there's so many of those floating around, you should get enough tactics on her to stick throughout the battle. Let's go ahead and move on to Ana, the only Frozen member to be within the Kingdom faction. Frozen in a lot of Kingdom is all about synergy, which is why you're going to see a lot of these upgrades kind of recommended to be maxed out, because the synergy is so important here, and Ana is no different. Ana is a support with every sense of the word. She's going to call big basics with her assist, so definitely upping her assist chance with the basic level 4 is highly recommended. Her number 1 ability you want to upgrade is Some Things Never Change, a drastic jump in viability, taking her Some Things Never Change from level 3 to level 4. It doesn't matter where the Frozen teammate is, they'll be gaining random magic up. This way, guys, is also great to get the speed turn meter down, and if you use her a lot as a leader within the raids, it's never a bad idea for more healing, so level 3 is the way to go, although I don't have mine upgraded and she works just fine. Next up, we have both Yzma and Krunk. You guys are going to notice today we're going to talk about some characters that they're not great, and I would probably say don't put the abilities in them, but this game is, again, all about choices, and I want to go ahead and focus on characters if you're going to use them in your main squad. I don't recommend using Yzma, but if you guys are just hell-bent on Emperor's New Groove, I can't stop you, so I'm going to recommend the abilities that I would take up. Yzma and Krunk are going to be a little bit odd. Today, we're definitely going to cover some garbage characters. I'll say briefly that I wouldn't invest in them, but if you choose to, let's go ahead. Yzma. She just got a refresh and Krunk did not. Yzma is going to be interesting for the ability upgrades. Focus on that basic and take it up to level 4 to call Krunk and get those protects on him. After all, that is going to be probably the most useful Krunk will be out there. As for her healing, she gives a lot of it. She's not the best healer by any stretch, but taking up her ability of Experimental Concoction to level 3, pull the lever, you can go ahead and up the damage. This is a rare instance where, yes, level 3 for the extra damage. However, you're primarily using Yzma as a support, so it's not necessary. But if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, I would just upgrade it. If you want to use her in a meta squad, which you won't, but if you want to, I would go ahead and upgrade this to level 3. Oh, Krunk. Now, he doesn't have a lot of uses. The main primary use I would focus on Krunk is the ability to extend blinds like within the raid and PvE content. You're not going to be looking for those damages, so even going to level 2 on the basic is fine. I have level 4 and level 4 for the damage on the Junior Chipmunk guide, but you want to focus on that. Now, Surprising Recipe is actually pretty solid. You have a big chance to go ahead and upgrade all of the magic on one teammate to all abilities. So if, like, way down the line you're watching this video and deltas are of the plenty, taking this to level 4 isn't the worst idea. Definitely don't recommend it now, and his passive you can pretty much all but forget about. Esmeralda, I'm just going to save you guys time. Her whole ability kit is amazing, like every ability upgraded to the max. She's a support character that can be used on every team. Upgrade every single one of these bad boys. But if we're going to talk about which ones to upgrade first, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, don't sleep on Jolly. Her basic upgrade is going to be well worth it. Her Dance of Defiance going to level 3 is going to be pretty necessary, but level 4 gets you an all-important purge if Jolly is on the field. Feast of Fools, level 3 is going to be just fine for most of your content. However, if you're big on PvP, level 4 is also pretty solid. Now, both of her passives are definitely worth an upgrade for deltas, guys. Both are incredibly useful, and I would probably focus on her Justice before Entrancing Exit. Both are great. Esmeralda gets A's across the board. While on the other side, let's take a look at Quasimodo. He's definitely a tank. You don't want to focus on damage, but with his ability upgrades, he gets a lot of bonus damage out there with his shields kind of combining with his tank role. So in this odd instance, we're going to upgrade the damage on this tank for his basic no soldiers, his sanctuary to give extra shields to his teammates, and then of course his best ability, Cauldron of Flame, a big time purging ability. Level 4 is absolutely necessary to get the most out of your Quasimodo. Claude Frollo, guys. Frollo's an interesting character to talk about. If you're using him for the raids, he doesn't need a lot of upgrades. His leadership is great across the board, but you don't have to upgrade it. And I'm going to recommend that the difference you're going to get from upgrading the leadership is marginal. So we're going to leave that at a level 1, whereas his other abilities, it just depends where you use him. He's pretty ability heavy as far as the beta investments. So I don't recommend taking him up if you're only using him within, let's say, the Siege on Olympus. Let's take a closer look. For Claude Frollo, if you choose to upgrade, it's all about the basic and his archers. Smite the Wicked, if you're using him within the raids, you don't have to take this up in PvP. It's a must. And the level 4 on the Judge's Command is absolutely essential, as you want as many archers as possible out on the field. Now, his passive is a luxury upgrade. If you're doing PvP, upgrade it. If you're not, I would hold off as it's not essential to his entire kit. Mother Knows Best. She is very ability dependent. Taking a look at Mother Gothel, I love to upgrade her basic all the way up as she gets extra villain synergy, able to flip additional helpful effects. Her ability Cloak and Dagger is only necessary at level 3. You don't need that defense down upgrade. And then you've got her Mother Knows Best that we just quoted. You're going to want to take this one up probably all the way. Although if you go to level 2 or level 3, you're going to get the most you need out of this ability. Moving on to Maximus and Flynn. I honestly wouldn't upgrade much on these guys. Maximus is all about dying. Do not upgrade his damage. You won't need it. You're not going to use him in PvP. I would go ahead and upgrade Commanding Presence to level 3. And then you can upgrade Criminal Pursuit and his passive a little bit as well. I don't recommend throwing much on them. You can have them geared up to get Rapunzel, and the gear alone has Maximus doing his job. While taking a look at Flynn, Flynn is interesting. He's got no synergy with anyone outside of Rapunzel, who you're going to be using in the Princess faction. Do not throw upgrades on him unless you're just absolutely obsessed with Flynn. If you do upgrade him, taking him up from 4 to 4 to get the extra speed increase is going to be somewhat important. My favorite thing about Flynn is going to be his chance to steal magic, which is actually pretty useful within the raids. Overall, though, I would skip this guy. Rapunzel, let down your long hair. I would go ahead and focus on what she does best. That is going to be the big time damage and huge 75% upgrade. When you see this, guys, you upgrade it. It's as easy as that. If you look at her hair snare, getting that extra 10% chance for the double stun is more important than you think. And then, of course, her restoration incantation is a Delta recommended upgrade. Although it would not be my first by a long shot, I like the chance to flip instead of cleanse. That can definitely drastically change the battlefield even more than the healing already does. Now, you can skip her passive as Club Conquest is not of importance, and the leadership is obviously going to be best to max out. Although you can leave it at base and it's still going to be just fine. Robin Hood, guys. Robin Hood is very interesting and he's always so close of being amazing. Now, you want to go ahead and get the defense ignoring, but you can do level 3 if you don't care about that defense. I will say that his Roguish Rally here is probably going to be my most recommended upgrade for a Delta if down the line you want to upgrade him. Increasing the duration of 2 helpful effects by 2, which is going to be 3 in total, is going to be massive. It's going to be absolutely huge for characters like Maui or other tanks that you want to go ahead and taunt on the battlefield. I love Robin Hood. His passive is essential and definitely worth most of your upgrades if you're about the Fox. Oh, Gaston. Guys, Gaston is interesting. Now, with his basic, you need to take it up to level 4 as he gains offense up that goes perfectly with his passive. His passive will be giving defense up to everyone when he gains offense up, so it's actually important to upgrade him across the board. With his best ability being Storm the Castle is what I would focus on the most to give all of your teammates that extra turn meter. Cogsworth and Lumiere, I would probably skip altogether. Don't worry about Cogsworth basic, focus on his taunting ability, and both of their passives are not bad to feed defense. Taking this up to level 3 for that extra defense on Cogsworth and the extra crit chance on Lumiere is highly recommended. Cogsworth is way less ability focused than Lumiere, but for Lumiere, you can get some good damage. And I like his upgrades on his basic and his first special. His passive is not as important as the crit chance is so marginal because it's a piece in a percentage of his own crit chance. That's not very high to begin with. You can skip Lumiere, but if you're all about the candlestick, these are the ones that I recommend upgrading. Miss Potts is all about support, so let's not focus on that damage. Out of the cupboard in Time for Tea is going to support the characters around you, and the recovery bonus is not half bad. I would recommend skipping her, but if you want to upgrade one ability out of the cupboard would be the one I recommend. Now, looking at Beauty and the Beast, they are very ability heavy. Beast, you're really not going to get his max potential until he is all the way decked out. Whereas Belle, you get a little bit more out of her, even if she's not upgraded. As for Belle, I would focus on her basic and her passive for the #1 ability upgrades. But again, you're going to want to upgrade everything on her. Enchanted Mirror actually has a great Delta upgrade. This is the best part about Belle, so I recommend upgrading that for one less magic use. Belle is absolutely amazing, and you won't regret any abilities on her. Now, focusing on the Beast, you definitely want to max everything out. Master the Castle at level 3 is the highest importance, and then his basic and Get Out are used so often that you definitely want to go ahead and upgrade those right away. The Deltas you can definitely make sense for the basic, and because you get the Get Out ability doing damage outside of his turn, it's never a bad idea, but I'm a little hesitant with Zeus coming by soon. Now, you might notice that Maurice is missing, and that's because of, well, the prettiness of the graphic. The uniformity, I just couldn't get him on this graphic, so I'm going to put him with the tech faction. We'll be breaking up the downtown heroes because we're not going to do them all together. We don't need a 45-minute video, but if you're looking for Maurice, you can go ahead and comment down below, and I'll let you know what I would upgrade on him. Sheriff of Nottingham had his limelight back in the day. He's a single target damage dealer that's being outclassed pretty quickly. Well-timed Treachery and Big Belly Bully would be a great damage upgrade, and his passive is also not too shabby. I would probably skip him, but if you already have him up, these are the abilities that I would upgrade on the graphic. The powerful, legendary Maleficent. Let's just go ahead and cut to the chase. There is pretty much not an ability you don't want to upgrade on her. Whereas I would most likely focus, because of the raid, on her basic, and definitely focus on her level 4 of Forest of Thorns. She has Delta ability upgrades that you can definitely focus on. The Dragon is definitely worth a Delta upgrade with a 75% damage dealt boost. And then her passive Serve Me Well. I have to level 3. I don't think it's absolutely essential for level 4. And her other passive, All the Powers of Evil, I've yet to upgrade. The offense would be a nice touch, but she has enough potency going for her, and she can do enough with just the base level 2 upgrade. Now, as for her leadership, only upgrade leads, guys, if you plan on using them. You can definitely warrant a Delta ability upgrade here, but level 3 should be just enough. Sorcerer Mickey, the flagship character of the game, doesn't have a lot of use lately, but Magical Mop and Spellbinding Swirlpool definitely get decent upgrades. His 75% upgrade on Spellbinding Swirlpool would be kind of worth the beta, or the Delta for that matter, but I don't highly recommend going up with that. Again, this is for future-proofing the video. If Deltas are going to be a lot more plentiful, the 75% upgrade I always recommend putting up those ruins and getting him where he should be. Jafar. Jafar's interesting, guys. Staff of Vizier. Now, yes, you could upgrade his charm ability, but you're only going to get this off once, and that's only in PvP. You're not going to use it within the raid, so sticking this at level 1 is just fine. And his basic at level 3, and his time is running out at level 3 with his passive joining it. He's the level 3 machine. That should be just enough for Jafar. Focus on actually upgrading his passive first, and then time is running out. Janie, I just took him up to gear 9. Love him to death. You can definitely take up his basic to level 5. He's all about spamming those basic attacks, and so that is a big-time Delta upgrade. Hat Trick, you only need to level 3 for one other effect to cleanse, and then you want the extra chance on his Silence. Friend Like Me, you can leave at level 1, and his passive is actually great if you want to go ahead and make the most of the duplicated genies. Get that bad boy to level 3. Now we're going to go ahead and end on Aladdin, guys. Aladdin, actually, if you want to use him, I don't recommend it, but if you plan on using him, all of his abilities are going to be essential at level 4. His passive you can make an argument for. We're going to move on, as I don't suggest going after him. Looking at Jasmine as our final character of the Kingdom faction, Jasmine is pretty cut and dry because the Aladdin synergy is just not needed. Raja is really the only ability that I would just full on focus on. Get Raja up to level 4 and you could probably leave the rest the same. Maybe bring up her basic for a little bit more damage. Holy Kingdom, that is all of the characters, and we talked about literally all of them. Now, again, a lot of these are going to be maxed out, and that's because you get the most bang for your buck there. But if you watch the video, you guys could tell there's certain abilities that you want to prioritize before others. Let me know, again, what faction you guys are looking for next, and if you guys enjoyed the time investment it took to make this video, because if you did, we're definitely going to do the other factions. My friends, I want to thank you so much for stopping by the Cozy Club. It's going to help me massively, again, by liking this video. We're almost to our goal of 500 Instagram followers, so follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I'll see you on Twitch, and until next time, Cozy Club, stay cozy.